Hello fellow makeup lovers, how are you guys doing today? I am so excited for this video because I'm going to be doing a review and 3 looks with the new El Barrio palette from Terra Cosmetics, and this video is actually in partnership with Terra. They are sponsoring me today, which feels so cool. I'm so grateful to be working with one of my favorite brands to show you guys a bunch of looks and give you my thoughts on this palette. I'm going to keep it honest as always. But you know I love Terra. They're one of my favorite indie brands, one of my most recommended indie brands, so I'm very excited about today's video. So I'm going to start off by giving you all the information, when it launches, how much it costs, everything like that, do some swatches. Then we're going to jump into the 3 looks, and at the very end, I will give you all of my thoughts on the palette. So this is the first pre-made palette that Terra has done, and it is going to be available for pre-order starting on October 23rd at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll make sure to leave it down below so that you can remember or look back, and I'm sure I'll post it on Indie Makeup Spotlight as well. And the pre-orders are going to be closing on October 30th, so it'll only be available for pre-order for that specific amount of time, and it's estimated to ship December 13th. It retails for $45. So there's 9 shades in this palette, and I think it is such a cute little color story. You've got a pop of gold, some greens, some reds, some blues, some oranges, and I feel like you could take this color story so many different places. I had so much fun filming the looks that I did with this, and you'll see that all 3 of them are completely different. So this palette has 3 metallic shades, which are Ritmo, Icono, and Lorena. And then Bailar is actually a little bit of a duochrome. It's like a coral with a gold shift. And then there are 5 different mattes in here, which I really appreciate the ratio of mattes to shimmers because I use a lot of mattes in my looks. I did want to go ahead and let you know really quick that Sangre is a pressed pigment, and technically pressed pigments are not supposed to be used around the eyes, and the reason why is because they're not approved in America specifically with our regulations because they stain. But in like the EU, they're not considered not eye safe, so it really just depends on you and if you're comfortable using it or not. I personally used it and didn't have any staining or sensitivity at all, but I wanted to let you know that is on the palette as well. It's like a little warning, but personally, I've never had an issue with pressed pigments. Oh, I should have said this before. I was going to translate the names as I go through, but El Barrio is like the neighborhood, and I think it's cool that Terra is doing something a little bit different. They are Latina owned. So all of the shades in this palette's names are in Spanish, and also I should have mentioned as well that there is a nice little mirror. Starting off, Ritmo, which means rhythm, is a really beautiful, extremely intense metallic gold. Like, it's seriously like butter. Like, look at that shade. Next we have the shade Icono, which means icon, and it is a metallic green. It's not quite as intense as a Ritmo, but it is still really, really beautiful. It's what I have all over my lids right now. Just a really nice, bright green shimmer. And then we have the shade right here, which is called Mi Gente, and it's like an olive shade, but this matte actually has like a little bit of a gray undertone, which you'll see in the demo, how it kind of blends out. You can see it there too as well. So it's an interesting shadow for sure. Oh, and mi gente means my people. So next we have the shade Sangre, which is a really bright matte red. You can see very intense. I would say it's definitely more of a pink toned red than a true red, but I really, really love the intensity. Oh, I guess I should swatch it. I almost forgot what's wrong with me. Here's what that looks like. You can see very, very pigmented. A little bit drier when it comes to the texture, but that's pretty normal with reds, and I had no issues blending it out. And Sangre means blood. And then we have La Reina, which is a beautiful metallic red, so intense. Again, this one feels like butter, and it means the queen. Look at that shade. Stunning. And then we have the shade Carnival, which means carnival, and it is a matte blue. It's more of like a bright, kind of like turquoisey blue. Again, you can see very pigmented. So we have a duochrome Bailar, which means to dance, and this one is a really beautiful metallic shade as well. Like I said, a little bit more of a coral, and I think that this one's really pretty. Then we have the shade Salvaje, which means wild, and it's a really bright orange matte. Going with a little bit more. just to make the swatch look a little bit better, but very, very bright. And then last but not least, we have Por la Noche, which means like at night, and it's a deep navy blue, but I feel like it does have like a bit of brightness to it. So there are all of the colors swatched out. As you can see, it is a really, really beautiful color story, very fun and unique. Okay, so starting off, I already went ahead and primed my eyes with the Crow and Pebble eyeshadow primer in the shade Parchment. And this first look is not a first impression because I already played with this palette yesterday actually, and I did like a little Instagram tutorial, so that should either be live on my Instagram soon or already. I did a look focusing on the oranges, so if you want to see that, make sure you're following me on Instagram at AMYLOVES But today I want to do like a really smoky, intense eye, kind of mixing some of the blue and red. So I think I'm going to go ahead and start off with the shade Sangre. So I'm just going to pick up a little bit of that, definitely tapping off the excess because I don't want to go in with a ton of red to start off with. And I'm going to put that through my crease and just start blending. And then I'm just going to slowly add a little bit more through my crease, just building it up. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and jump into this blue navy matte called Por la Noche, and I'm going to take that on like a fluffy eyeshadow brush. And this is where the fun starts. So I'm going to go ahead and pop that all over my lid. Again, I'm just going in with a little bit at a time because it's easier to build up than it is to do too much and then have to struggle or get fallout because I already have my face done. So I'm just going to go ahead and start tapping it on the lid. Then I'm going to also take that shade into the crease just a little bit. Just enough to connect right now, and then we'll worry about blending in just a minute. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is take a little bit more of Sangre on a really precise little crease brush and just start blending the crease between the blue and the red. It's going to turn a little bit purple, but I just want to make sure that it looks very soft and there's no harsh edges. I'm actually going to go ahead and mix a little bit of the red and blue together just to make my outer V purple as well. So I'm going to go ahead and take some more of Sangre and Por la Noche and pop that along the outer half of the outer third of the lower lash line. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and take this red called La Reina, and I'm so excited. I love a good metallic red moment. I'm going to pop that along the entire rest. I'm like, actually, it's not the entire. The rest of the lower lash line. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and take the shade Carnival, which I feel like is going to be such an interesting pop to the inner corners. I'm just going to take a tiny little bit and put it right here. Okay, I feel like that looks so cool. It reminds me of like 3D glasses or something. I'm going to take the Ardency in True Blue liner through my waterline. I'm also going to throw on the We Make Up More mascara, and then I'll be right back. Okay, for highlighter, I'm going to go into the Gimme Glow Warm Lights Loose Highlighter. Such a beautiful, super glowy highlight. Alright, for lips, I'm going to go into the Terra Moons Lip Gloss, and this is the shade Chill. Alright, so this is the finished first look. I love how it turned out. I feel like this is the epitome of a fun, colorful, smoky eye. So now let's go ahead and jump on into the second look. So for the second look, I love how blue and orange contrast each other, so I really wanted to do that today. I think I'm going to do blue on the lid, orange on the lower lash line, and I'm going to go ahead and start off with the shade Carnival first. So I'm going to go ahead and just throw that through my entire crease. Just taking a little bit to start off with. I'm actually going to go into a brush that's a little bit more dense to build that up. I'm getting a little bit of lines, so I'm just going to go ahead and pack that shade on a little bit more just to make sure everything's nice and even. think it was just that brush that I was using for some reason wasn't blending it out that well. But just going in with this brush right off the bat, you can see looks a lot smoother. All right, now that that's built up to my liking, I'm going to go ahead and take the deeper blue Por la Noche, and I'm going to pop that on the outer V to start off with. Just going to build it up a little bit and start blending it into the crease just a little bit right here. And then, like always, just going into my previous brush, blending that edge. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and take the shade Salvaje, this orange right here, on a big fluffy pencil brush, and I'm going to take that along my entire lower lash line. I'm also going to go ahead and take just a little bit of this orange right here called Bailar. It's a little bit more of like a coral shimmer, and I'm going to pop that on the front of the lower lash line. This is out of order than I typically do, but I'm just going to grab my Likeable Mood pencil from Linda Hallberg really quickly and throw that in my waterline, just because I think it'll definitely go with this pop of orange on the lower lash line. I'm a little undecided on what to put on the lid, but I think I'm going to go ahead and take the shade Ritmo, this like yellowy gold. The shade is so intense, I don't even need a glitter glue or anything. I'm just going to go ahead and pick up a little bit and tap off the excess and put that all over the lid. I think I might actually go ahead and take just a little bit of Icano, this green right here. Not even going to bother using a different brush or anything. I'm just going to pick up a little bit, and I'm going to use that in between the gold and the blue. I think I'm going to go ahead and go back into that deep blue Por la Noche, just taking a little bit more and blending it into the green. Okay, so this is definitely a very interesting color story overall. I don't really feel like there's an inner corner shade in this palette for this look. I think I want to do something a little bit more like white based, so I'm going to grab a Terra Moon single. I'm going to take their single in the shade Powdered Sugar and just popping that on the inner corner. Okay, really quickly off camera, I'm going to go ahead and throw on my more mascara from We Makeup. Okay, for highlight, I thought it'd be fun to go ahead and take Powdered Sugar and use that on my face as well. I'm just taking a pretty small highlighter brush. I'm going to put it right at the tops of my cheekbones. And then for lips, I'm going to use my Lisa Eldridge Velvet Fawn. Alright, so this is the finished second look, and I think this one's really fun. I feel like it incorporates all the different tones in the palette between like the gold, the green, the blues, the oranges. It's just a lot of colors on the eyes at once, but I really like how it turned out. So now let's go ahead and jump on into the third look. Okay, so I feel like I saved the best for last because this was the look that I was the most excited to do. Today we are going to be playing with the greens, so I'm going to go ahead and start off with this shade right here called Mi Gente, and I'm going to put that shade through my entire crease. And then I'm just going to go ahead and build this shade up. This one is an interesting green because it almost has like a gray undertone. So I'm just building that up and gently blending out the edges. So like I said, just be warned with this shade, it starts off pretty green, but as you blend it out, it does definitely gray quite a lot. I'm also going to take that shade Mi Gente and just put that around, or underneath I should say, my entire lower lash line. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and take the shade Icano, and I'm just going to go ahead and use my finger this time just because I want it to be less precise and it's just easy. And you've seen these shimmers work beautifully with a brush already, so I'm just going to make it quick and easy. Such a stunning color. I'm going to take my blending brush and just do a quick run through the crease. So taking a touch of that metallic green and popping it on the front of the lower lash line. Last but not least, I'm going to take the gold Ritmo and I'm going to pop that on my inner corner. This shade is so beautiful on the inner corner. It's just so intense. And I'm just going to like lightly blend it into the metallic green as well. I'm going to throw some black liner on, some mascara, and I'll be right back. Alright, for highlighter today, I went ahead and pulled out my e.l.f. White Gold highlight. I was just feeling something golden. For lips, I'm going to go into another Terra Moon's lip gloss, and this one is the shade Cork. Alright, so this is the third look complete, and I love how it turned out. I am such a sucker for green, so that's not really a surprise, but overall I feel like it's such a pretty look, and it was super easy and fast to do as well. Alright guys, so let's go ahead and talk about my overall thoughts on this palette, and I would say that overall I'm really happy with it. I feel like the packaging and everything, it feels really nice. It has like a good amount of weight to it, and if you're someone who loves Terra Moons because of their singles, the way that this is packaged, it's really easy to take the singles out and move them around, or if you wanted to put different shadows in, like I feel like it's a very single shadow lover friendly packaging, which I appreciate. This is the same great quality that I've come to expect from Terra Moons. The metallics are very buttery and intense, and they look really beautiful on the lid. You can use them with your finger, you can use them dry, you can use them with a glitter glue, you can use them with a brush, and I never have an issue with them. And even when I get a little bit of fallout, it normally wipes off really well. It doesn't want to like stick to my face or anything. So I really love the metallic options. I think they're beautiful. As far as the mattes go, they do feel very similar to the other mattes that Terra Moons has done in the past, where they're very soft, very easy to blend, and they do have quite a bit of kick up. If you don't like kick up, this might not be the formula for you. I definitely recommend that when you go in, I'll just show you with a brush really quickly. You can see that there's a little bit of product that comes up. So I always tap off my brush like that every time before I go in, and I have no issues with getting fallout all over the place, but they are a softer formula, which is actually my preference. I feel like these mattes are very much on the buildable side and very beginner friendly in my opinion. My only con is that the shade Mi Gente does not really come off that green on the eyes once you blend it out. I don't mind it like completely because I do think that it looks really cool. I like the way it looks in the look, but if you were buying this palette expecting an olivey matte shade, I don't think it's true to pan. But overall, I think that it's a really nice palette, and I think if you've been wanting to try Terra Moons, this is the perfect time, especially if you're someone who likes eyeshadow palettes more than singles. So I would love to hear what you guys think about this palette. That's pretty much everything I have to say. I just want to say thank you again to Terra Moons for sponsoring this video. I'm so excited to be working with them, and thank you all for watching my videos and supporting me and making that happen even in the first place. That is everything for today's video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.